Warning, Dazzo Radio is not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast. 1K frequency is not intended to replace professional advice, and our views may not necessarily reflect those views of our featured guests.
Great to have you here with us. Welcome to 1K Frequency with your hosts, Dazzo, Skittlekicks, and Atlas. Are you too old to play video games? Well, that's what one TikTok individual said. We were sent a video, we meaning me, and it was by our good friend Dazzo. And he said, check this out. And it was a guy who was saying, anybody who's over the age of 25 should just grow up. But I'll let Dazzo go into more details with that because I just have to sit back and laugh at this garbage.
What up, everybody? How you guys doing? So I found this news article from unilad.com. And it's this guy named Aaron Wilkinson. I think he's out of the UK. Not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, he made a bold statement saying those who are after the age of 25 should not be gaming. So what? You should sit here, be a good old 9-to-5 guy, make family, make babies. Like, bro, it doesn't matter what age you are. Gaming is for everybody, regardless. Oh. I mean, not everybody's a gamer, but you need to have a life outside of work, outside of family. Mm-hmm. Am I right, Mr. Skittles?
Oh, you are absolutely right, but I would even take it a bit further. One of the things I remember growing up was that when I actually had my Nintendo, now we're talking way back in the old days, Sherman. My parents would watch me play. You know, I was trying to finally beat Super Mario Brothers, and after many long hours trying to beat this damn game, I finally did, and I was excited. I remember being in the water section of the world. My mom would crack up because of the do music and whatever, and the the underwater bleep 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 sound that you hear and all that stuff. She just got a kick out of that. And I don't think my dad thought too much of it, but he was like, "Okay, my son's playing a game, so that's pretty cool." But I remember being a kid, and it was like family time, right? But we also played board games. We also played games as a family, right? This is before my brother was born. In fact, this is actually about a year and a half before my brother was born. And what I find ironic about this guy is that he's telling anybody who plays video games that you're too old. So let me ask you this. Why is it 25? What is it about being 25 that says no? What about 24? What about 20? What about 18 when you're officially an adult in the United States, huh? Why is it 25?
I know, right?
And
why that specific age?
Yeah, because I think this guy said he's 26. I think that's at least what my assumption is, that he's 26, and so he feels that he is high and mighty, and his shit smells sweeter than everybody else's, and you just obey me because I'm a TikToker. No, you're a dumbass who thinks that your opinion really fucking matters, and it really doesn't, okay? The problem I have with this whole thing is I've been a casual gamer pretty much since I was a kid. I never really grew out of it. But guess what? It's not the only thing I focus on. No, it isn't. People have made great livings off playing video games. There are some big YouTubers out there, some big streamers out there. And you got to tell them to grow up?
Yep.
You got to tell them who some of them are married or have significant others, have children who are part of it. In fact, I can think of a guy right now. His name is BOO. And he's been a gamer for many years. In fact, he was a huge Minecrafter. And his young daughters love Minecraft. And he would have like this whole thing with his family where he would sit down with his daughters and play Minecraft with them. So should he have to grow up because he plays video games? And he didn't know he's over 25. In fact, he's in his 30s. You know? He's got 2 kids, a wife, and a mortgage. And he handles his shit just fine. He's got his shit together. Another guy I used to watch, Vintage Beef. Well, he got married, and I believe he's got a kid now. And he's still a hardcore gamer. He still plays his video games. He's got millions of subscribers. And he's supposed to grow up too. Guy's married. No, he's a Canadian, by the way. I believe he was out of Toronto. I don't know where he lives now, but he was out of the Toronto area. And he has had a pretty good life, as BOO has, and many of these other gamers that are over the age of 25. So again, why are you saying that 25 is the cutoff? Is it because you're 26 or whatever, and you think that 25? Oh, that's just the absolute. Who died and made you God? Who died and gave you the monopoly on the truth? See, the thing is, this is the modern version of family game night. You can have a fun time with your family playing video games. Exactly. Especially if they're age appropriate. I'm not saying your kids should go out and play GTA 5 when they're like 5 years old. I'm sorry, I do have a problem with that. No 5-year-old needs to be playing GTA 5. Okay, that's no bueno. I don't care if you're playing LSPDFR 5M. I don't give a shit. That's a game that's not meant for kids. But you if you're a smart adult and you're a smart parent, you know what's appropriate. You at least you should. You should have some kind of moral compass, and if you don't, well, you've got other issues. That's a you problem. But I feel like this guy's basically trying to, make this the death of the video game, the death of the family, if you will. And again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier, intolerance. So when you saw this, as a lifelong gamer as you are, and you're over the age of 25, I'm sure, Dazzo, that kind of struck. I put a bit of a craw on the slaw, didn't it, for you?
Ooh, it made me want to grab my sledgehammer and beat him with it.
Oh, so you wanted to be
sorry.
You wanted to be Jumpman smashing barrels.
Yes. Well, in this case, that would be probably smashing heads, but yeah.
Well, but that's kind of why I went with the smashing barrels in quotes. I guess I should have done air quotes and then videotape me, video me doing air quotes of barrels. Yes, but yeah. So it kind of sounds like it just irked you a little bit.
It irked me. I'm 32. I don't have no kids yet, but I have a adorable little niece. I still do my job. I still have a life. I still work a good old 8 to 4, 8 to 5 fucking job. I still play video games. I don't care what anybody says. No TikToker is going to stop me from playing video games. Nobody outside out of my comfort zone is going to tell me to stop playing video games.
Yeah. I mean,
government is going to tell me to be, hey, Ray, guess what? Don't play video games. Go fucking, go to work on 9 to fucking 6 p.m. fucking shift.
Yeah, and get 1 hour, and you only get 1 hour of sleep, and you only get 1 ounce of food every day. That's all you get. Yeah.
I don't give a damn who you are.
Yeah.
You control your life. I control my life. Plain and simple. I don't sit here and tell my friend Skittles, who's almost fucking 50 years old, hey, Skittles, quit fucking playing video games. Quit being a fucking a content creator. Quit being a host on 1K Frequency. Go work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would I have the fucking balls to sit here and tell Skittles that?
Well,
no.
No. You might just because you troll, but no, but you would not do that because A, it's called respect. B, it's just called we do our own thing. Now, like, I'm not going to say I'm 100% responsible. I can be immature. I mean, I can be a complete child at times because that's just sadly how I've been my entire life. I just sometimes get spastic. But I'm not claiming to be some person with like a monopoly on the truth. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I mean, I think there are things that are worthwhile doing in your life to improve it, but I'm not going to sit there and say do this or else. Grow up. My fiance, for example, she's a collector of a lot of cool stuff. Like she's got like these little knickknacks or whatever. Like they're Disney related knickknacks. And she's been collecting these for a long time, and she's also got a really good selection of gem dolls because she was a huge fan of the TV show in the 80s, and she loves it to this day. Now, should she grow up? Well, her mom thinks she should, but I'm like, no. See, what a lot of these people don't understand who are far younger than we are. Our generation, mine specifically, which is Gen X, we're very nostalgic. We are the first generation of nostalgic. We are the first generation to actually want to bring back our youth. Because we grew up at a time that we do feel that was a very important time in our lives because it was so different. It was a complete shift from the 70s, which were utter dog shit. I'm sorry. I was born in the 70s. Thank God I was not old enough to suffer through disco. I had to deal with that in high school, but that's another story. I never had any, how do I want to say this? I had more fun in the 80s growing up with what I did than I ever did in the modern times. Why? Because there was something very unique about the 80s. There was something very unique about this. And if somebody says, well, the 80s are calling, go back to that, I would love to go back to the 80s. Because then I wouldn't be dealing with little cunts like you who think your shit is sweeter than mine. I mean, I wouldn't be dealing with you people. I would not be dealing with the people who say, well, you should be adulting. Okay, well, who makes that judgment call? I make a lot of bad decisions in life. I make some good decisions in life. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. But those that sit on TikTok all their lives and sit in their cars looking all tough like they're driving, like that's not a fucking, cliche, and saying to people like me, who is nearly 50, Ray, who's almost middle 30s, is like, oh yeah, you got to grow up. You got to grow up. Really? And I find that people that need to grow up are people like him, who look down their noses at those of us who are in the older group and say, yeah, nah, not going to happen. And I host a show with Dazzo and Atlas. I still make time to help my dad when he needs help around his like the garage or the house or whatever. We do repairs. That's just what you fucking do. To me, that's adulting. That's being an adult. That's being responsible. I cook dinner for my dad and myself because my mom's been dead since 2016. Okay, but I help. Now, maybe not always financially because I'm out of work right now because of my health. However, I still do whatever I fucking can to help my dad out, and he's appreciative of it. Same thing with my fiance. Whenever she needed something from me to do, I would do it for her. And that's just how it does. So, yes, I know how to adult, young whippersnapper, Mr. 26-year-old TikToker who thinks his shit is better than anybody else's. I know how to take care of my shit. You worry about you. And if more people did see back in the 80s and 90s, there was this little acronym that we used to say, MYOB, mind your own business. If more people did that, I don't think we would have half the problems that we have today. We certainly wouldn't have the X-Men bullshit if we minded our own business. We certainly wouldn't have the bullshit of a TikToker saying, if you're over 25, you got to just grow up. We wouldn't have half these fucking problems. But the quote-unquote adults in the room are the biggest retards I've ever known in my entire life. I mean, I cannot believe how dumb these adults in the room really are. I don't care if you're a politician. I don't care if you are just some average schmo on the street. If you are that person who tells other people how to live their lives and your doorstep is dirty, what's that old adage? Remove the log that's in your eye before you try to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Take care of your shit first before you try to do that for somebody else. That's just, that's biblical. That's apocryphal. That's something that was said centuries before your sorry ass was ever born, before there was ever a TikTok, So, but I just find those kind of things really funny, that there are people like that who think they're better than everybody else. And that's why the whole show tonight is all about the intolerance of it all. It is ultimately about intolerance, in that you are not allowed to do something without some other asshole saying that you can't do that. And I'm not talking about things that are illegal. I'm talking about things that maybe bring joy to your life. Am I too old to be playing bass guitar? I've been playing bass guitar for 34 years. Am I too old for bass guitar? I'm over 25. Is that something I have to grow out of? Huh? I mean, they can get that asinine. And I think that's what people miss the point on. And yes, that is literally the level of stupid that has been bred in this world. This is what happens when you don't educate. This is when you indoctrinate. That's the result you get. I don't know if you disagree with that, Ray. I really don't.
I agree that this TikToker, Aaron, should just mind your own damn business. Leave everybody alone. You stop making TikTok videos thinking it's going to go fucking get the hits.
Viral.
You're going to get all fucking 5 minutes of fame. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get fucking money out of this from TikTok.
Do you know what's ironic about what you just said?
Get a fucking life.
Yeah, but you know what's ironic what you just said? We just gave that guy his 5 minutes of fame because we're fucking talking about it. The irony is real. Yeah, no, I get it. It's more, I mean, when things are mockable, you mock them. When they are that asinine, that ridiculous, you have to point out the stupidity. And that's entirely what Dazzo and I are doing. We are pointing out the stupidity of these particular folks out there. That's just uneducated fools. The underachiever, if you will. The one who said, nah, I'll just accept my participation trophy because I cried so much because I couldn't fit in with anybody else. So I got a participation trophy, and I'm proud of this participation trophy. I just showed up. I never played a thing. I just sat on the bench the entire time, kept that bench nice and warm, and I got a permanent little frickin' indent for my ass sitting there this whole fucking semester.
All right.
That's kind of what this generation has grown up to be. I don't want to lump Atlas in, but part of me is like, it's not him. It's in his age group, though. It's in his generation. And it's sad because half of that generation is not as fucked up. They see the bullshit. But the other half are trying to convince that half that they are fucked up and therefore you need to follow us in lockstep because the adults in the room say so.
Yeah.
Again, folks, say the word with me. Intolerance, because that's what it comes down to. We hope that you enjoyed the maiden voyage of 1K Frequency with your hosts Dazzo and Atlas and myself, Skittлекicks. If you have any thoughts or topic ideas or feedback for the show, you can drop us a line at dazradio@hotmail.com. So until next time, don't get canceled.